friends. So this week we're talking about space in art and how we make things look like they're going backwards in space, or like we have some depth to our art to make it look 3D. So we're going to be making an abstract work of art today. And abstract means that I'm not trying to show anything in particular in my art. I'm just using a bunch of lines and shapes and colors to create my artwork this week. So I'm going to quickly talk about two different ways that you can do this project, because I know not everybody has construction paper or colored paper at home. I know I don't. So you can either use this project as like a collage project, which is just gluing paper on top of another piece of paper, or you can draw out this project with markers, with colored pencils, with crayons, even with paint. So I'm going to show you both ways really quickly. The first thing that I've started with is I have a piece of white paper for my background. And especially if you are coloring your design, it's going to be important to have a white background so our colors show up. I also have a piece of black paper that I've started cutting up. And this is the part of the project where you can either decide if you want to cut out everything out of pieces of paper, or if you want to draw part of it and cut out some, or if you want to draw all of it, okay? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make kind of like a starburst pattern on our paper. So you can either do that by taking a piece of black paper, or really any color, that's the same size as the white piece of paper that you're working on. And you can see I've cut a lot of things out of this piece of paper, but what I started cutting out of it was triangles. So after you've cut that whole piece of paper into skinny triangles, you're going to glue down every other triangle that you cut out. So for me, I cut out 2 of these, and I'm lining up the edges, and you can see all my triangles are meeting in the middle. They're meeting at their point. So you can start out this way by gluing your long, skinny triangles all the way around your paper, and you're making sure that they're touching in the middle. And the way I did that, again, was just cutting up a whole black piece of paper into all these different triangles, and then I'm only gluing down some of them. So I cut out this triangle here too, but I didn't glue him down because we want some black spaces and we want some white spaces. Now, if you don't want to cut for your background, you can grab a ruler. We've talked about how to use and hold rulers this year, or you can grab just a straight edge of something like a book. And remember that when we're using rulers, we want to line it up. We're holding it with one hand really firmly in the middle, and then we're drawing right along this edge to give us our line. So how I'm going to draw my background, if I don't want to cut it, I have a marker here. It's not a black one, it's purple, so you can use any color that you want to. I'm going to line my ruler up so it's going diagonal. That means corner to corner. And you can see that my ruler doesn't quite touch my corner, and that's okay. I'll have to move it and draw a little bit of that line later. So I'm going to draw a big diagonal line. You can see I'm sliding my ruler and I'm lining it back up with that line that I already made. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to color it in. So now I have a diagonal line that's going all the way across my paper. Now I'm going to go corner to corner in the other direction. So I'm basically making a really giant X shape on my paper. And again, I'm going to have to move my ruler so it meets all the way. And it's okay if your line's a little bit off, like mine is right there. It doesn't quite touch the corner. That's all right. Then you're just going to start dividing up these 4 sections of your X into triangles, and they don't all have to be symmetrical. They don't have to be the same all the way around. You just want a lot of stripes that are going to meet in the middle. And your middle doesn't even have to be in the very center of your paper. The point where all your triangles meet could be up here, it could be down here, but they're all going back and they're touching the same point. So I'm doing some of my stripes really big, some of them really skinny. It's up to you. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna fill in all these areas Then I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to color in every other one. So I'm going to color this one in purple. I'm not going to color this one. I'm going to color this one in purple. I'm not going to color in this one. I'm going to color this one in purple. And if you're left at the end with a section where it's like your only option is to put two purples next to each other, just draw another line for yourself so that you have a space in between those two purples, because you want it to be every other section that's colored in purple. So I would use my best craftsmanship. I'm trying my best to stay in the lines. And I'm also not what Mrs. Turner calls scribble scrabble coloring, where I'm leaving big white gaps in between my coloring marks and making sure every part of my triangle is all colored in. And then I'm going to go in and do all of my other sections too, and I'll be right back. All right, so now you can see that my paper looks like this big starburst, and again, you can do it any color that you want. You could even do like rainbow if you wanted to. So now I have two different options. I could either draw and cut out my shapes on a piece of white paper, and then I could color them in. So I could get another white piece of paper and I could draw a variety of shapes over here. So I could draw like a really big circle, and I would obviously color in these a different color than I chose for my background so they show up. And then I could cut that out, or I could take a colored piece of paper and cut out some shapes from that. So I've already done that today, so let me use these. And the key part of cutting out our shapes, you can use any shape that you want, but you need to have a variety of sizes. So I have some really big shapes here, and then I also have some medium-sized ones, like a much smaller circle. I've got a littler triangle, and then here at the end I've got a tiny little baby circle. So how you want to arrange your shapes to show depth is, we know that things in the foreground, things that are nearest to us, are the biggest, and they also have the most detail if you're drawing on top of your shapes. So things that are closest to us here at the bottom of our page are the biggest, and then things in the middle are kind of medium sized. And then as we go back towards this point where all our triangles are meeting together, everything's going to be teeny, teeny, tiny, like you're looking off in a field. And the farther away you look, the more you can't really see those trees anymore. They look really tiny. So I'm going to put my smallest shapes towards the middle, and then I'm just going to start arranging the rest of my shapes, following their size order. So they're going from smallest in the middle to biggest on the outside. I'm going to start arranging these, and then I would glue them down. So you can do as many of these shapes as you want, but you want to make sure that you're going biggest to smallest at the point where all your triangles are meeting in the background. And then you can kind of lay these out however you want to. So you could go in like a swirl if you want, all the way to the center. Some of your shapes could fall off the edge of your page a little bit and come around like this. We really want to see your paper full of all these different shapes, but make sure you're paying attention to which size is going where. And we can't wait to see what you guys come up with. If you give this project a try, please don't forget to share with us. Bye.